Welcome back to Edgework, presented by FanDuel as part of the Hammer Betting Network. I'm Alex Moretto, joined here today on this beautiful, sunny, nice Thursday morning after the Montreal Canadiens have clinched. I should have put the little X by my name there. I'm joined here today by So Money Sports and a surprise guest who is waiting backstage. Wow, that was just perfect. Surprise guest, everyone. Very, very surprising. Matt Alber is back with us today to dissect the Rangers season on this morning of their 82nd game. Maybe not talk about some other news that dropped this morning in Rangers land. Probably best to just steer clear of that on this show. But yeah, a lot of stuff to get to here. I am feeling a lot better. I'm glad that I'm here with you guys because there were points in that game last night where it felt like you can kind of felt just the doom coming, and I had zero optimism. I was expecting the worst, and I was like, yeah, if this goes the way I'm thinking it's about to go, I think I actually will have to bail on the show tomorrow. I don't think I would have it in me, so glad I'm here. Albert, welcome back. So Money, I'll let you talk about the game first because, you know, your Columbus Blue Jackets, they gave it quite a push. Honestly, I do feel a little bit bad for them. As bad as one can feel when I wanted them to miss very badly, given the Habs were the team that they were up against, but they gave it a really good push given the circumstances. Sucks that for them to not be able to be in that, but yeah.
Yeah, Montreal deserved it. You're right. There were points in that game where I felt that they were going to blow it, especially when it was 1-1, and then in the second period, Carolina was starting to take it to them. But as with any team, you need that one guy that can always step up. And for the Habs, it is Nick Suzuki, right? He's a leader of that team, and he's a leader in general, right? And he's a very good guy to he's a very good guy to have. So I mean, he's the heart and soul guy of that team. So Montreal deserved it. All credit to them. They were getting tight. You could see it in the second period.
Yeah.
They were getting tight.
Oh yeah, they were.
And then they got their leader to step up, and that's what it's all about. So all the credit to Montreal here. They were well deserving here, and you know, I mean, I'm not upset. It's fun for the league. It's fun for me when the Habs are in the playoffs. Especially because they tend to be a feisty playoff out, and it's fun to watch the Bell Center on TV. So, yeah, I mean, let's go.
Yeah, I will say a couple things. I don't want to talk about the game forever because it is what it is. They did not necessarily impress in finding their way in, but I do think we will see a much different Habs team in round one than we saw over the last few games, where it's just a completely different mindset going to the playoffs now. Now that you're in, the pressure's kind of off again, and now you're back to playing with house money. You're back to being in that underdog role they seem to really relish, where the pressure's off. No one's expecting anything of you, and you can kind of just go out there and play a little looser. Whereas the last week or so, you're in this situation where like you're heavily favored to make the playoffs now. All of a sudden you're there. Everything you wanted is right there in front of you. You have to go out and take it. You are in that favorites role. The pressure is on you, and it really showed. They're a young team. They struggled to cope with that a little bit, to adjust their kind of playing style to get what they needed to get done. Ultimately, they find a way. Obviously helped significantly that Carolina rested a ton of players, and you could tell that Carolina team was a shell of what they usually are. Although Taylor Hall decided to try and go hero mode last night. I haven't seen that kind of effort from him in 3 years. So fuck him. But yeah, it was I think it will be a very different Habs team around one than we saw in this last week. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. One of the teams that the Habs made it at the expense of is the New York Rangers. And Matt Alber is here to join us today in his funeral garb, as Jordan puts it. All black from Alber today. I'm guessing that was intentional.
Yeah, that was very much intentional. 100%.
Maybe you can unblur the background and you can see the bet, because there were some prop bets being made behind the scenes here. I don't know.
All right, hold on. We're fine. Yeah,
it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Could be worse.
Yeah,
be worse.
There are certainly worse mornings being had at Rangers Land right now.
The floor is yours. Give us the Rangers outlook.
So I'll even just briefly touch on the Habs while we're here. Aside from kind of not wanting you to make it just because of you, I mean, the Habs are the better team, right? Like Columbus, great story all year, especially kind of what happened last summer with Johnny Gaudreau. And it would have been really cool to kind of see them make it. But the Habs are definitely the better team. And I think, like, especially as we kind of look towards a round one matchup too, like Washington probably beats Columbus in 5. And I think Montreal actually is able to give them a series. So from that front, congrats. I was hoping that you would not have a flashback video to the preseason show ready when you said that the Habs might make it at the expense of the Rangers, and I laughed. I remember that. Yeah, what went wrong?
Your memory's better than mine. That's why I don't have anything prepared. I was an emotional wreck all day yesterday. I wasn't even celebrating. It was just like sheer relief when the game ended yesterday. It wasn't even like euphoria or anything like that. I was just like, thank God we did not blow this. That's all it was.
Yeah, I mean, what went wrong this year? Everything. Legitimately, every single thing that could go wrong over the course of a season went wrong. It's been a miserable season. I need a new word because I don't even know what to say. It could have ended 6 weeks ago. I don't think a lot of people would have been upset. The team stinks. The vibes stink. I mean, obviously some news today. Like, it's been miserable start to finish.
The question is, where do you go from here? Because there's a lot of dead weight. There's a lot of guys that don't know that they want to be there. Internally, it seems like a mess. Obviously, Calvin DeHaan's comments were a little bit telling. You had like Buchnevich liking social media posts about how poorly players have been treated there. Seems like the organization is in some real turmoil. They got a lot of aging veterans that obviously you're at a point now where they're all over 30 and it didn't work this year. I don't imagine it's going to just flip a switch and be back to normal next year. So I think there's a lot of, you almost need to tear this completely to the ground. I can't imagine Laviolette keeps his job after this. Pretty crazy if he does. I'd imagine Drury will still be the guy in charge, but like also have to ask questions about that too. I don't know, like, where do you even want to see the team go from here? Because like you got Panarin, who's over 30, you got Zibanejad, who's over 30, JT Miller, Kreider, Trocheck, all these guys are aging out. They all have some term left except for Panarin, who's only got 1 year. The back end, you're in a little bit better shape. You got like, Borgen, Fox, Schneider, Miller. These guys are all a little younger. Obviously, Miller's an RFA, but like you kind of a little bit more settled back there. But I just don't know what you do up front.
So I actually feel the total opposite, to be honest. I think especially kind of when you look at the back end, the problem is they have these guys under contract, but they're not slotted in correctly. Like Keandre Miller is not a top pairing defenseman. They've tried it time after time, and he's not. Like, I think at this point, and he's had a terrible season. Like, everyone's had a terrible season. Keandre Miller is near the top of that list. Like, I think you kind of were expecting this year, maybe he could kind of step into that, like, high 2, low first pairing kind of. He's not. He's like a low 2 at best at this point. And I think that's just kind of what you have with a lot of these guys, is that you have a lot of mid to low end second pair, good third pair defensemen. And then you have Adam Fox, who has also not had a good season. But when you look up front, yes, they're getting older, but I think you at least see that they have some pieces that are still there. And every single player has just gone off a cliff year over year. And it's easy to kind of point to, oh, they're getting older, which they are. But that's not the reason that every single player has gone down dramatically year over year, including somebody like Lafreniere. Kakko, before he was traded, wasn't doing too great. Like, there's so many pieces, I think, up front where the talent is still there. And you kind of saw it with the JT Miller trade of where they wanted to go, because even when they made that trade, like, it was very clear they were not making a long run this year. But something like that kind of says, okay, like, we still believe in this core of veterans to be able to do something here. Like, they know they have to redo the defense core. Like, they made multiple moves this year in trying to do that, and it just never really worked. Where do you go from here? I have no idea. Obviously today's news, like, I don't know what you do with him. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of rumors that Kreider's done after tonight with the Rangers. Like, are you just going to have to basically cap dump him? And is that even worth it? I tend to think no, if you're trying to win next year. Like, I don't think you just cap dump someone like him.
I don't see how you win next year. There's too many pieces that are needed there. I think you just need to completely accept the fact that the next couple of years are going to be a little bit rougher, and you're just going to have to build around guys like Perreault and Othman and Will. Don't want to butcher his name again, but Cooley. There you go. Guys like that. I think that's kind of the move here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. My gut feeling says they start next year kind of in this. They're going to find a way to add a defenseman over the summer. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to have to find a way to do that. I tend to think they're going to go into next season kind of with the mindset of throw this year in the trash and bring back a lot of the same. And if it sucks, then you blow it up midseason when everyone's kind of looking for guys. But we kind of talk about, like I just mentioned Kreider, right? Like why, unless you're just going into the summer saying we're blowing this up, which I don't believe they will. Certainly not this year, maybe after next year. Like, why would you trade away someone in a cap dump who, yes, had a terrible season, but has been your most consistent, probably playoff performer outside of goaltending in years? So it's like, it is a tough spot, and there's no perfect answer.
Jack Guy and 2 firsts for Lafreniere. I think that's the move right now. Habs have a couple mid-first round picks. We'll take Laff. Bring him home. He deserves out of that absolute mess.
Yeah,
he's been terrible.
But I would take him in heartbeat.
He's a good player. He's a very talented player, and he's just everyone looks terrible. Trocheck looks terrible. Kreider looks terrible. These guys are not terrible hockey players. I think it's just a culture issue. But yeah, I don't know.
Things just spiraled. The season's just spiraled out of control, and it can't possibly end fast enough. Yeah, I've been telling you this for years. It cannot end fast enough.
Less than 24 hours, and of course, it can't just end smoothly. You have to hang this Panera news drop this morning because it's just one thing after another.
Because there's not already enough drama.
I want to make light of it, but the timing is just insane. I just wanted to address something else in the chat. Brett said something here. If I find it, scrolling through. What about the loss to Chicago for the Habs? Shouldn't be allowed in the playoffs, going 0-2 against the worst team in the league. They also went 4-0 against the Panthers. So, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. That stuff happens. We're going to do things a little bit differently today in terms of the bets because it's a really, really weird slate. It's not even like betting preseason because at least preseason is kind of lines are up. They're kind of just guesses at this point. These are more like educated guesses. Lines are like decent. You're basically just waiting for news. There's no point going game to game like we always do because of the fact that game to game, we're just going to be saying the exact same thing. We have to find out who's going to play. We have to find out this, whatever. Where's the motivation for this team? Where's the motivation for that team? Instead, I'm going to give SoMoney the floor here first, and he's just going to talk about anything that he has bet so far tonight and anything he's kind of waiting on. And that's just how we're going to do it today, a little bit differently because there's no real point in going game by game, as I said. Before we do that, though, just a reminder that the NHL playoffs are literally right around the corner right now, and FanDuel is bringing you the best bets on the ice. Get in the lab when you make your same-game parlay by checking out FanDuel's player performance pages that track stats and averages all of your favorite players. Once you know who's cooking, add shots on goal, points, assists, or even goalie saves to your SGP. Missed puck drop, you can still tap in with live same-game parlay and period-specific player props. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet, and you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download FanDuel Sportsbook and make every moment more. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus in present in select states, or 18 plus in present in DC, or 19 plus in physically located in Ontario. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelponma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. So, Money, the floor is yours. Have at it. What have you bet so far today, and what are you kind of tracking going forward?
All right. So, while you...
Oh, he just muted himself.
God, I thought I'd be the first one to do that today.
So, while you guys were doing your thing, I was working. Here's the thing. So, you touched on it earlier. It is a card that you got to be really careful with. It is basically glorified preseason, and the way you bet preseason is you wait on information. So information and motivation here. So I bet on Columbus firstly, like them 145. The way that I priced it, and the reason I like it is that Columbus is a team that has shown and everything coming out of their camp is that they're going to keep going, right? They're playing at home. There's a lot of emotion with this team right now, and um, and, and it's an educated guess, but I don't think that they'll be sitting any guys here. Islanders, I don't know, right?
Based on morning skate, Columbus is not resting really anyone. They're not. Everyone's going out there, and I think that's telling that they want to make. They still want to end this good season on a high note.
Exactly. And for the Islanders, I don't think it matters who they go with. I think that this game is on Columbus's stick. So for that reason, I think the minus 140 is a little bit too short. So I played Columbus minus 140. I played Ottawa. Brady Tkachuk taking the morning skate. He's back, and from their lines, they're not going to be. They're not going to be sitting anybody either. So
yeah, sounds like Stutzler's playing. Stutzler, Giroux, and Tkachuk are on the top line together there.
Yeah. So I played Ottawa. It's starting to steam right now, but up to minus 115 is fine. So the Sanders there. Carolina, Brindamore's going to have a press briefing, I guess, or whatever, in the afternoon. I don't think it matters at this point. This is another game where the game is on Ottawa sticks. So if Ottawa is going, then they're going to win this game here. Washington, Pittsburgh. I'm not sure about either team right now. That's a game that we need to wait on. We need to wait on information. Tampa Bay Rangers, tough. We still need to wait. I don't know what Tampa Bay's mindset is in particular. Looking at that number, it's Tampa Bay as a dog right now. It's tough to let that go, but we need to wait and see what Tampa Bay does. And I've mentioned before, Cooper and I have a long history of him surprising me with things, so I need to make sure that I know where his mindset is. And then the other thing I'm waiting for is Calgary, Los Angeles. Is a team that's going to keep going as well. They are a feisty group, and they are a young team that had a good season, that want to end the season on a high note as well. So I'm waiting to see what the Kings' mindset is, and then I'll figure out from there. And I'm also waiting to see what the Leafs' mindset is. I'm not rushing to bet against the Leafs because, again, I've mentioned this in the past. Like, I think that this is a different Leafs team. So I don't know if they'll be sitting guys, or I know Wall is starting, but I know that Detroit's going to keep going. That's everything I've read from Detroit camp is that they want to end the season strong, right? And they have been playing better to end the season. So that's a team that should be fully motivated, even though they're on a back-to-back. I think that's a little too much. That's been priced into the market a little bit too much here today. And then finally, Philadelphia, Buffalo. I'll probably have nothing
number. But yeah, no real interest in that game either. I agree with you on the Sens, for sure. I bet that as well after I saw the Bruce Garriock tweet about Tkachuk being out there to contact jersey skating with Stutzla and Giroux. Clear intention that they want to get their lines their playoff lines out there, and they want to obviously try and work on some things and get that chemistry built, which is obviously like about all you need at this point in the season. At this stage, where Carolina has nothing to play for and will be resting guys, I imagine that Carolina will just run it back with a very similar lineup as they did yesterday. And Ottawa obviously wanting to get their guys out there and start building a little bit of chemistry and rapport before the playoffs. I think that makes a lot of sense. So I like the Sens there as well. Columbus, I agree with the fact that they're going to come out here and want to end the season strong. This is a team that showed a lot of character down the stretch. All season, they've showed a ton of character. They're not just going to lay down now that the season's over, and these Isles have looked very, very cooked. Flyers, Sabres here, no real interest. Caps, Pens. Caps are a team that I think maybe will want to still show a little bit more. Carberry's a guy where, I don't think they're going to fully mail it in, but no interest barring some like unforeseen news. No idea what Tampa's going to do. I know that cap-wise, they're in a little bit of a stickier situation, so it's hard to imagine they're going to even have the ability to rest too many guys if they do decide to rest guys. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah,
That's a good point.
Wings on a back-to-back. I don't know exactly what to expect against a Leafs team that, regardless of who's out there, will still should get good goaltending at the very least, which is significant. Kings have not rested anyone yet. I don't think they didn't rest anyone last game either. Obviously, Byfield sat out, but like they haven't actually rested guys. So if there is a time to do it, this would probably be it. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. We will not know about that for a while, though. So kind of hard to do anything here. These games are just, for the most part, they're pretty ugly. I think this is going to be a nice night to just get some more playoff prep done. Maybe keep some stuff on in the background while you can really pay attention. Alber, you got anything today? You have like a minus 16 units record going into the last day of the season, so you should just fire like 13 bets and hope to try and make it all back and end the season even here.
What I'm hearing is we should just parlay the Jackets, the Flames, and the Sens for like 10 units right now and just get it all back.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I have nothing. I have nothing else to add on top of what you guys did. It's just you can't bet any of these games till you have lineups. It is preseason. You kind of said it. It's just a worse version of preseason. Nothing across the board. It's way too hard to bet this.
Also, this is a little bit of like probably unnecessary to complain about, but how does the NHL not have the full playoff schedule out yet? Like, you had every series except for one decided, but you knew the two possible outcomes at that point as to who it would be. How do you not have like if the Habs win last night, this is what the schedule will be, and then they win, and then the schedule comes out 30 minutes to an hour later? Like, what are we doing here? This league is insane.
I think they do this every year, don't they? Don't they wait for the regular season to end before actually putting it out?
So stupid. Like, we know the Saturday games, we know a couple series that have been like reported, but yeah, it's crazy that they don't have it yet. All right, I'm just trying to catch up on the chat here, see if there's anything else that we missed. No, not a ton. Rempe hat trick, yeah. Lightning Panthers game 1 Sunday. I think the Leafs Sens game 1 will be Sunday as well. And based on what I saw last night, and Gooley was talking after the game too, he said that they've been told at least that they should be starting on Monday in Washington. So makes sense. I think that if the Leafs series was going to start on Sunday, Sportsnet and would not want the other Canadian team and the other Canadian series going on at the same time. So I imagine those two teams will never be on the same day. So if like Ottawa, Toronto goes Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Montreal will probably go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, would be my guess here. So no schedule though. We're just going to wait. Hopefully we'll have a schedule. Nothing really matters for tomorrow as we do our playoff preview, because we will have a ton of stuff to go through tomorrow. It's going to be a longer show. So you guys want to, come prepared for that. We're going to go series by series like we do usually go game by game. We're going to break all that down. We'll also try and talk about the game ones we will talk about the game ones on Saturday, because lines should be out for those games as well. We'll give our series picks, our cup picks, everything. We're going to dive into all of it. Conn Smythe stuff, future stuff. It's going to be a bigger show. We will be firing a lot of bets. Hopefully, I guess, did you guys get any of that Colorado series prices after the Robertson news last night? Yeah, because there were a lot of minus 115s, minus 120s out there that have now obviously been steamed out to like minus 150, minus 160. Yeah,
I think that even right now, and I mean, minus 150 or minus 160 is a little bit too much, but if we can find anything less than that, I think that and Colorado game 1 as well. I think that
where there's no Nero and no Robertson, there's going to be
that's just too big of a loss right now, and with a team that's not playing that well either.
I know that's posted on
I agree. I like Colorado before that.
Right now
it's this.
Yeah. You got Sack in the chat here.
Did Joey Pucks really give away the Avs?
Sens fans are losers, don't deserve playoffs, don't deserve wins. Imagine trying to celebrate a win and having to drive 45 minutes to a city that shut down at 6 p.m. Couldn't be me. sad city. Move them to Quebec City. Oh man, the Battle of Ontario is heating up.
The Sens win this series is going to be incredible.
Oh God,
I was going through the tickets. I do have a Sens to win the Eastern Conference ticket, and I just realized that. Yeah, I realized that this morning. Actually, it's a big
true.
number.
We did lose that head-to-head this year.
Sorry,
we did lose that head-to-head with you.
Oh yeah, you know what? I should have come a bit more prepared for this. We should have. Maybe we can bring up the start going through live and bring up our futures and all that sort of stuff and go through
probably
that
shouldn't do
here
that.
because we really don't want to do that tomorrow. This is the time to do it here. This is the time.
Don't really want to do it today either.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure you.
That's the real reason we brought Alber on here. We
don't really want to do it today either.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get that up here, and then we will. Let me just pull something up. Bear with me for a second here.
Good God.
I'm going to try and share I'm going to see if I can share this here. Present. I don't want to share my whole screen. That's not going to be great. I wonder if there's a way to share a specific tab. Hold on a second here. Okay, well, let me just pull this open. We've got, where do we want to start? Do we want to start So Money with you? Do you want to start with Alber? Do we want to start with me?
Nope.
As I figure out a way to pull it up on screen, who wants to start first?
Here, start with me then.
Okay. All right, let's start with you.
God, this is horrible.
So Money, we have Chicago Blackhawks over 74.5 points. That is a loss. So we'll start with the L there. Vegas Golden Knights Pacific Division winner. That is a win at plus 340. So we'll give you that there. New Jersey Devils President's Trophy winner. Not quite. Celebrini Calder Trophy. We can't officially mark that as an L yet, but I think we can pretty much go ahead and say that will not get home. What do we think? We okay with marking that as a loss right now or no?
Yeah, he's done.
All right. Let's do that. Connor Ingram Vesna. It's okay. You had half a unit. It was a smaller play, big price. Tough year for him, but obviously, like, he lost his mom and he went through a lot. It was not an ideal situation for him. Travis Green, Jack Adams, not a bad bet. Not going to win in the end, but he did get them into the playoffs. That's kind of what you were hoping for. Martin Netch's Hart Trophy. That was not a win. Nico Hischier Hart, not a win. These are quarter unit bets, not the end of the world. McKinnon Hart Trophy. I don't think we can mark that as a loss yet, although I don't think he's going to win it. What do you think?
Mark it as a loss. He's not going to win the Hart.
Yeah. Tortorella Jack Adams, not happening. Tampa Atlantic, not happening.
That's
Flyers
tough.
make the playoffs. No. Blues make the playoffs. Yes. There you go. Bruins under 87.5 points. That is a comfortable winner. And then Columbus make the playoffs. Thank God. That is a no. The total on that is $27 or 0.27 units. You net profited 0.27. There you go. Wow. That's all you can ask for. 0.27. All right. Albert, you ready to go next?
That's so dumb.
Can we just skip ahead and say I did not net 0.27 units and move on?
No, we cannot. Minnesota Wild playoffs. No. That is a loss. That is -1 unit. Flames under 81.5 points. That was a loss. Wings, worst record. Loss. Ottinger Vesna. No. Bannister Jack Adams. No. A lot of these are smaller bets, to be fair. These are not all full unit bets at all. Lindy Ruff Jack Adams. No. Cutter Gauthier Calder Trophy. No. He did look really good down the stretch, though.
Yeah, he did.
Mikko Rantanen and Rocket Richard getting traded twice did not help that. Nashville Predators over 92.5 points. No. Kings make the playoffs. No, that is a loss. Sens make the playoffs. No. Alber, we need one here. We need to get one here as we go down this sheet. Blackhawks worst record. No, Blackhawks worst record is not going to get home. Flyers make the playoffs. Yes.
It was a good number too. I think they were favored at one point.
Yeah, they were. John Hines, Jack Adams. No. Detroit Red Wings under 87.5 points. There you go. That's a win. Even if they win tonight,
there's the winner.
87. Travis Green, Jack Adams. No. You did bet that at 75-1 though, whereas so many bet that at 8-1. So there you go. That was a good bet. Kucherov Hart, that had legs for a while there towards the end, but just doesn't get home. And then Stars under 105.5 points. Somehow they lose their last 7 games, and that still does not win. Not ideal. Not an ideal finish for that. That is minus 12.59 units.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good thing you're wearing the all black.
You're going to ask me what goes wrong? I'm going to say I bet the wrong side of everything.
I wasn't going to ask you.
Put them all. Everything got put in here backwards.
I wasn't going to. I wish I could find. I just don't know if I present my screen here, because I don't want to be like transparent. Let me just ask our producer here in the background. If I present my screen, will it share everything? If so, that's not what we want to do here. I do not need to share my whole screen. We'll go through mine now, though. Preds under 98.5 points. That one gets home. Isles over 91.5 points. That is a loser. Flyers under 85.5 points. That one is a winner. Habs over 75.5. Easy, sweat-free playoff winner right there. Wings under 90.5. That one gets home. Waugh, Jack Adams, not even close. UPL Vesna, not even close. Sens make the playoffs. No, that is a loss. Blues under 88.5 points was tracking to be an easy winner, and then they went and fired Bannister and everything went to shit. That is a loser. I'm pretty sure I added to that at one point too.
We did a head-to-head on that one.
We did a head-to-head. Okay. Oilers Pacific Division winner. No. Kings Pacific Division winner. No. Isles make playoffs. No. That was I said yes, but that was a loss. So no isn't that lost. Oilers over 1.5 points. 105.5 points loss. Oilers plus 110 plus points loss. Lightning over 99.5 points win. Kings over 98.5 points. That's a win. Flames under 87.5 is a loss. McKinnon Art Ross is a loss. Hudson Calder is a win. Hines, Jack Adams, that's a loss. Sabres over 76.5 is a win. And then we have 2 at the end here. Western Conference team to win the cup. We obviously cannot grade that one right now, although some good CLV at this point. And then Quinn Hughes to win the Norris. That's going to be, I believe that's going to be a no, guys, right? We can comfortably mark that as a loss, I think. Yeah. Okay. And that takes us to minus 3.49 units with the pending of the that's not great, guys. This was not a great futures recap here, honestly. We're better than that. I'd like to think we're better than that. I mean, my futures overall did well, so I don't know. I think the stuff we're tracking here, we're not tracking enough stuff. We're not talking about enough stuff. I think that is a good reminder for next year to talk about futures a lot more and pay more attention to this stuff on the show, as opposed to just like betting stuff and just like, forgetting about it or not really talking about it here. We got to pay a little bit more attention to this. Nonetheless, we had to recap all that, so I'm glad we did. There's some head-to-head stuff maybe to get to as well. Any season-long stuff. Okay, we had 84. We had Alber. We had the Blues point total head-to-head, 86.5. I lost that one, so you win that one. Devils, you took over 101.5. I took under 101.5. They finish with 91, so I win that one. And then you took under 84.5 on the Jackets. I took over, so I'll win that one. So I will finish 1, 2, 3. We will go 4-4 in our head-to-heads this year. Just a nice little push. Alber versus So Money. So money, you broke the curse. You were 0-6 in head-to-heads against Alber, but you won the Sens playoff one.
Got one.
And there you go. You broke the curse. Now you can freely go head-to-head against Alber and not be concerned about what that's going to do for your bets. So there you go. I can't believe you went 1-6 in head-to-heads.
Congrats, so money.
That is the headline of the season, I think.
Yeah, that feels impossible.
That does feel impossible. So money, I went 0-3 against you on head-to-heads.
What did we have? We had the Sens and what else?
We had two totals earlier in the year. On November 5th, we had the Colorado-Seattle under. I had under 6.5. You had over 6.5. That went over. Yeah. And then we had Montreal-Detroit total. I had under 6. You had over 6 on December 20th. And then the Sens to miss/make the playoffs. I had them to miss. You had them to make. All right. Before we get out of here, I do want to do one more thing here in the interest of transparency. There is 1 day left in the season. There are a couple bets here, but for the most part, we can recap our individual records on the show because we've been tagging every bet along the way. So who wants to start here?
Alber.
All right.
Just get it out of the way. I haven't been here about a month anyway. I may as well just do it.
Tags. Let me just search through bet stamp here. Tags. Alber. Done. Oh, there we go. Alber. How do I read this here? There we go. 57, 70, and 6. My eyes are so bad. Minus 13.98 units. Minus 10% ROI.
He hasn't lost in a month, though. Brett is right there. He hasn't lost in a month.
Yeah, Brett is right. He has not lost in a month.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. So money, me or you next? What do you want to do? I don't care.
Yeah, go me.
Okay. So money, we'll check. So money next. See what his what he finished. We also have to do Rob at one point. Then we'll pull Rob's up after this too. So money, 116, 126, and 6. Minus 6.85 units. We ended the season on a stronger. I don't know if that's updated with yesterday's too. Sometimes it takes a while on bets to have to update, but there you go. Let's do Rob next. Let's get Rob's quickly because we have been tracking some of his. We want to make sure we're going with everyone here. Rob +7. No, that can't be. Wait. 180. No, Rob did not have that many. Oh, that was me. Okay, sorry. Rob 16, 15, and 1 plus 0.67 units, so just under a unit profit. Now we can go back and do me. Sorry about that. I mixed that up.
There you go.
180, 168, and 10 plus 7.09 units. Very long walk for a short drink, but it's just trusting in my Habs. That's all that was. Just believing in that team down the stretch. All right, there we go. There's the full recaps. There is the futures recaps. There is some best bets for today. Bit of an unconventional show today, but we'll be back with our full playoff preview tomorrow, which should be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to that. We'll have a lot of bets, a lot of series picks, cup picks, all that sort of stuff. We'll break it all down. You guys make sure you come with your questions in the chat. Throw anything out there. FanDuel has so many fun markets to bet on here with like player points, player series goals, series, player 1+ series goal, 2+ series goal, 3+ series goal, series leading goal scorer bets are always fun. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we'll get to tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune in 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We are doing it tomorrow on Good Friday. If you do celebrate Good Friday, or not celebrate, but if you do observe whatever, it'll be available in podcast form after. It'll be available to watch on YouTube again, throughout the day and on Saturday if you cannot tune in live. So yeah, hopefully we can see most of you back tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the games tonight and good luck on your bets.